Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2020, and this is your second live stream for the day. I am your host, Permission to Exist, and tonight's topic, a lawless land is a narcissist's dreamscape. We're going to talk about it. Hello, and welcome as you fill into the room. I am making a quick edit on the show slides. So I'm just going to chit chat with you guys while I'm doing that. Welcome back to those of you who caught the last live stream. I am so sorry about the sound. When Logic Pro was grabbing my microphone, I didn't realize it was turning it off of this one. So it was turning off my main mic. So do I sound loud and clear? Let me know, please, while I fix up this side of things. Welcome. You get 2 in a row. This is what happens when my internet dies for the weekend. I have all this pent up energy that I have to get out. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are going to get started here momentarily. Grab a few things. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to mute really quick and then we will start the show. All right, let's rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. If you were on the earlier stream, I was able to pull off a second stream for the night. Sounds good? Awesome. I did have caffeine, y'all. You want to know what I found? And really, what's the cause of all of this? Yeah, it has something to do with my internet, but Starbucks has something called Nitro cold brew coffee. And it has been in very limited locations around the country for a long time. Well, I found it in canned form at Publix yesterday. And when I tell you I've gotten so much done in my life, I think I need nitrogen, y'all. And I'm not kidding. Because I do drink regular coffee and I never feel the same way as I do when I have nitro. So this is a free advertisement, Starbucks. You're welcome. For nitro coffee. I don't know if y'all have ever had that before, but I'm telling you, like, whoo, because it's not so much body energy as mind energy. And that's the only way I can explain it. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And why don't we go ahead and dive into this topic? So I've been brewing on this for a couple of days now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. No, I'm not. We're going to do a dramatic rollout of the screen. But I think we all can agree that society is in a state we've never seen it in before. And I think what's been most surprising to me is seeing some of the thought processes that have been born out of our current set of circumstances, right? And we've heard extreme things before. We're not unfamiliar with the extreme, but I think one of the most extreme notions that I've ever heard ever in my lifetime is this notion of abolishing the law or abolishing the police. So I've already done a video on that. It's called Off the Deep End, Defund the Police, ? So you can check that out to see how I feel about that issue specifically. But I wanted to dive deeper into this because I think it's very important, because I see this idea catching on, and it really is starting to kind of disturb me and bother me. So we're going to dive into this. Tonight's topic: a lawless land is a narcissist dreamscape. And we are going to talk about why that is. So first, before we begin, let us do a disclaimer, because I don't ever want anyone to think I am isolating one group only. One of the reasons, as I stated a few live streams ago, that I do not get race specific on this channel is because you have to understand that this is universal. Narcissism is universal, and it manifests itself differently in different groups, yes, but there are also some traits that manifest themselves universally, okay? So that's why we can't pinpoint just one and say they are the narcissist, because you will miss and overlook all the other ones, okay? So the disclaimer is, in this live stream, I am referring to all races, cultures, and ethnicities, okay? So if anyone pops in late and thinks I'm isolating one or the other, please let them know she's talking about everybody. And I will give this disclaimer again a little bit later on in the live stream. So now that we have established that, let's talk about this a little bit. The topic: a lawless land is a narcissist's dreamscape. And it is. And why is that? That's because all narcissists, for the most part, and in my opinion, possess a criminal mind. Okay? What is the criminal mind? To me, a criminal mind, well, let's do the official definition first. Definition of a criminal mind: the mind of someone who commits crimes. Oh, hey, well, that's helpful. Oh, sorry, I just did a direct copy paste. So excuse that second sentence. Let's drop down. The pursuit of power and control for their own sake, perceiving life as a one-way street. My way. Who does that sound like that we know? Next one: although fully aware of right and wrong and potential consequences of one's actions, the ability to shut off that knowledge long enough to do whatever one pleases. Who does that sound like? That sounds like somebody that we know. So, and then my personal definition of a criminal mind is someone who essentially will do whatever it takes to achieve their own goals, even if it means hurting someone else. So when you look at it like that, that can play out on the street level, and that can also play out at the boardroom level, and it can also play out at the political level. The motivation is the same. The motivation is, I don't care about you, your needs, your rights, your wants, wishes, any of that. I don't care about any of those things if it doesn't suit me, and serve my needs and what I want. To me, that is a criminal mind. That's what criminals do. That's how criminals think. They have no boundaries. Nothing stops them. Nothing gets in their way of achieving what it is they want, even if it means other people get hurt in the process, right? So when we understand what a criminal mind really is, right? And when we have such a profound understanding of narcissism, the idea that we would want to remove a level or a layer of accountability from our society is absolutely insane to me. And here's why. Let's get deeper into this. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining. So this is a very simple expression of what I'm trying to say, but we're going to work through this because I think it illustrates it the most clearly. So in the past, for the most part, humans, society, man, used God or the spiritual realm as the ultimate level of accountability. So if you were accountable to nobody else, you were accountable to God, right? Well, by and large, as a society, we have thrown that off. So there are many people in our society who identify as atheists, okay? And I am not saying, dang, I should have put another disclaimer in here. I am not saying atheists are criminals. That's not what I'm saying. Please hear me clearly. Please hear me clearly. What I'm saying is we remove that layer altogether. So what I'm saying is a lot of people identify as atheists. Some people don't even identify as that. It's just not, it's a non-factor in their life. They don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. It's just not something they think about, right? So we took that layer off, right? So then what layer did that leave? The only layer that left when we removed God as the ultimate head of responsibility in our society was the law. And the thing about the law is, in theory, we're talking in theory here, it's supposed to be neutral, fair, and applicable to everybody. We're not going to get into the details about how that does not work that way all the time. That's not what we're here to discuss. The purpose of the law overall is to be an accountability system in society, right? What I feel is being proposed right now to some degree or another is a removal of that also. So we've removed the God layer, which, okay, for the sake of argument, okay, fine. Not provable, right? Fine, okay. So then what we had left after that was the layer of the law to be that accountability system for humanity, right? However, what I'm hearing now and the general sentiment that I'm getting from people is human beings don't need laws. We don't need police. We don't need authority. We don't need that. We can police ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. That's the general sentiment that I'm getting. That up until this point, we have demonstrated that we are actually able to manage ourselves in such a way that we never need third party intervention. Never. And I'm here to say that I couldn't disagree with that sentiment more. I couldn't be in more disagreement. And the reason is because our society is filled to the brim with narcissistic individuals, to the brim, right? So for anyone just joining, I am talking about everybody tonight. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everybody. I'm talking about everyone, okay? I just want to make that clear. I have to make that clear. But our society now is filled to the brim with narcs, and we know this. They are at pretty much every level that you can possibly think of and manifest in multiple different ways. So can you imagine, you guys, a world where narcissists have nobody over them to hold them accountable? They obviously don't believe in God. Now there's no law. Now what? Now what are we going to do, you guys? I'm so serious because I honestly cannot believe the conversation has taken this turn. And I've shared with you guys many, many times before that I no longer identify as a full-fledged Democrat. I'm certainly not a Republican, not even close, but I'm not a Democrat anymore because I feel like they've gone off the deep end. You've lost it. Are you losing your mind? So I did a video called Overcorrecting a couple of months ago. This would be an example of overcorrecting. This is an example of that. So your response to what you feel are unjustified police killings is to get rid of the police altogether. That's like getting rid of all the teachers because some teachers were caught messing with the students. That's like getting rid of all doctors because a couple of doctors have engaged in malpractice. It's the same. It really is, you guys. It's the same. That's like getting rid of all firefighters because a couple of firefighters messed up a few times or had some ethical lapses. which I think that's happened before. There's been like reports of things that have gone on at fire stations. So we're going to get rid of all the firefighters too. Like, this is an overcorrection. This is fantasy land for narcissists. Narcs would be like, oh yeah, get rid of it all. Yeah, get rid of the whole penal system. Get rid of it. Yeah, I bet they would love that. Because then who are you going to call? Like I shared in the live stream on defunding the police, you know, there's a lot of things people want to do but don't because the threat of jail is real. Jail is a very real threat. It's real. You know, I'm sure there's people you've wanted to hit right in their face. You can admit it. It's okay. I won't judge you. But you know, if you hit them in their face, they're going to call 911 and you're probably going to get arrested and you might get charged with assault. And if they see it all the way through, you might actually end up with something on your record. That keeps a lot of people from doing stuff. You know, it's a gentle reminder that we have to kind of behave a little bit. So can you imagine how excited and how happy narcs would be if the law were removed, even if they actually remove the police, which they are planning on doing in Minneapolis. And I think it's going to be a complete and total disaster. It's going to be a disaster. Because people forget everything that they do. It's not just making arrests and things. Like, they do everything. You find a body, they go get it. They go look it up. They go bag it. Write up the report. Take pictures. You know what I mean? Car go off the ravine. They're going to show up. Everyone else will show up too, but they're going to be there also to kind of document things. Get into a regular car accident, and you're saying it's not your fault, and the other person is saying it's not their fault. Who's going to arbitrate between that? Your neighbor? Your mom who's in the car with you will be the ultimate decider of whose fault it was? I think people forget that we also need a neutral third party in certain situations, domestic situations. I heard one city is trying to pass legislation that would prevent the police from taking weapons to domestic violence calls. Are you out of your mind? Don't you realize that by the time someone has called the police in a domestic violence situation, it has already escalated? So what this tells me is that a lot of people actually believe that words work with narcs. They believe that the right combination of words, said friendly enough, said softly enough, or if you just plead enough, you can actually get through to a narcissist. And for anyone who's just joining, I'm talking about everybody. Okay? They seem to think that you can actually negotiate with a terrorist. You can't, honey. You can't. You got to come out of la la land. You got to come out of fantasy land regarding this. You have to. And I agree that reform needs to happen. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. You know, because I'm sure some of these places are dinosaurs on the inside, meaning when you walk in, it's like walking into the year 1980. So, yeah, a lot of reform is needed. But abolishment altogether, wow. That means that we actually really believe our society is capable of managing itself. When I feel like it has more than proven that it cannot. We've more than proven that we can't. So I don't actually ever think that it will come into being. But then again, there's a lot of things I thought would never come into being that are and that have. And the ferocity and the relentlessness of the messaging is worrying me, because one police department has already given into it and completely disbanded their department. They don't have a backup plan. They're currently meeting to discuss plans for, I don't know, how you're going to go take care of someone who's brandishing a firearm, maybe even shooting at people. Okay, you got an active shooter situation, but no police. Now what? It's almost like people have forgotten that humans lately have not really been that nice to each other. This pandemic has wiped everybody's memory. Prior to this, humans weren't actually being all that nice to each other, you guys. Have we forgotten that? You really trust your narcissist, your narc, the one you've been dealing with? You really trust that narc with no cops around and the knowledge of no cops? You trust that? I think y'all are insane. Let's see here. You lost it. It's gone. And then I've seen like a lot of politicians are catching on to this idea. And I'm like, oh dear, they're serious about this. This is serious. Right. Eventually, okay, I should have put a layer in there for military, which is part of the law. But okay, they're going to remove the police and send in the military. Is that what you want? Like, I think it touches me in a special place, like I've shared before, because I was a teacher, and I understand firsthand that some people cannot be reasoned with. Words do not work with everyone. I'm trying to tell you, they don't. If they did, we probably wouldn't need the police, except for like, other things, car accidents, missing people. Oh yeah, missing persons. Who's going to conduct the missing persons investigations? Don't you have to work? Don't you have a full-time job to work already? And don't you think the volunteer squad is going to get tired of doing all this work without pay and without benefits over time? Got to think, guys. It makes no sense to me. It's insanity to me. I don't know where we're going with this. So that's essentially all I wanted to say. I know that was really quick, but I'm going to go through your comments and then we'll get out of here, okay? Yes, I'm back. 2 in a row. That's that nitro from Starbucks, man. Starbucks nitro. It's amazing. It's really good stuff. Let's see here. It says all the craziness folks have kept under control is out of control now, right? Like, has all this just been brewing under the surface all of this time? And we're just now catching a glimpse of it? It's worse than I thought. It's actually worse than I thought. And I actually have extended thoughts. I'm just putting them all together. Right. Narcissism is like drugs. It doesn't discriminate. It really doesn't. The only thing about it is it manifests itself differently in different groups. So I'm going to take a quick poll with you guys since you guys are here. I'm thinking about doing a video called White Narcissism, Black Narcissism, the similarities and the differences. However, I think that could turn into a shouting, screaming match really fast, even though I'd literally be holding both groups accountable at the exact same time. So what do you guys think? Would y'all be interested in a video like that? White narcissism, Black narcissism, the similarities and the differences. Would you like that? Or would you cancel me for that? I don't want to be canceled. But some of the things I have to say. Oh man, let's see here. Tell me more. Tell me more what you mean. It says the reason why the solution to solving this global problem is defunding the police is because narcs have a hive mind and promote the same ideas. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought you were saying that is the solution, but what you're saying is the reason they're promoting that solution is because it's hive mind, same ideas. Got it. You're absolutely correct. Like, God, I have so many things to say. I really do. Like, I can't even imagine, y'all. Like, it frightens me. And okay, I'll go here though. I will go here. I'm bothered by the narrative that the only people who are against this idea are privileged white women. And as a Black woman, I couldn't disagree with that idea more. I'm completely against it too. Like, the police aren't only for white women, guys. The police are for everybody. And I know, I know, I know everything that's going on. Trust me, I know. But what I'm saying is, if you pick up the phone and call 911, for the most part, you can get some help to your door. Yes, I know there are areas it takes them forever to show up. I know that there are some areas they won't show up at all, or at least that's the stereotype and the rumor. But by and large, if you pick up that phone and call them, they are supposed to show up for you. Okay? So like, it's intended to be a service for everyone, and I just don't know who you're supposed to call if they're not there. Your neighbor? Who do you call? Some people would call Smith and Wesson. Let's see here. But still, even in that scenario, let's say you're successful in defending your home, right? You successfully defended your home with your fire piece. Perfect. Now you have a body on your front lawn. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to call your neighbor? Say, hey, neighbor, I got to take care of this here body. Are you going to call their family and tell them what happened? Hey, hi, yes. Hey, this is Steve from down the street. Yeah, somebody was trying to break into my house. No worries, I shot them. I don't think they made it. So we found their wallet on their body and called the number in there, and it looks like you're their family. Yeah, can you come get him? Yeah, he's in the back of my truck. I'm sure that will go over perfect. I'm sure that will go over just swell. Right. Okay. I agree. It says it's very, very disturbing. I think cutting back on the military equipment is a good idea, and bringing back the way that the Mayberry police operated through restructuring and hiring fresh people. Right. Like, I think the military style get up is a little intense. That's a little intense. And I must say, when people pointed out that like the police get more funding than schools, like obviously that's a problem. Like, we definitely need to correct that. I don't think that correcting that means taking that money away and giving it to the schools. Why don't you just give the schools the money? Like you give everybody else money. You give everybody else money, just give them the money that they need, right? Because to be honest with you guys, I don't think you would see a difference. I don't think, look, let's say 100 million away from the police and gave 100 million to schools right now, you would actually see much of a difference. And the reason is because fundamentally and structurally, the schools have not changed in terms of like their mindset and their approach. You can't pay somebody's mindset to go away. You can buy better equipment, you can buy, better technology, you can pay your pay. Here we go with this microphone. I don't know what's going on. It's like it just cuts itself off. Let me make sure I'm still on the right one. Nope. Oh no. It kicked my mic off. I swear, this is the devil. This is the devil. Let's see here. Wow. Okay, my Yeti is gone. So my sound probably sucks, right? Sorry. No, here it is. Okay, the Yeti should be back. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, and I lost my freaking train of thought. I think I was saying that you have to change the mindset of the schools first to see any real improvement. And extra money would help, but to be perfectly honest with you, a lot of that money would be squandered because the same people who are running it into the ground now would just receive that money and run it into the ground more. And that's not to say every school system is bad. I'm just saying a lot of them really need a lot of work, truly. Let's see here. So, okay, and I like this option. It says Camden, New Jersey, fired all the police, made everyone reapply and be rehired under new qualifications. I like it. You know, that works for me. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Dang, I meant to say it a while back before I started doing y'all's comments. But basically, on the same thread regarding narcissism and the law, keep in mind that the law is very close to responsibility and accountability. So, what made me say that? Where's the comment that made me say that? I missed it. It's gone. It was something about fairness. And anything that reminds the narc of accountability and responsibility, they're going to cast off. So, I was thinking about this along the same lines. Well, let me say this. I've done 2 videos on this, or I think one at least. One of them was called Responsibility Hurts the Narcissist's Feelings, and it does. And I feel like I've done one more and I just can't think of it. But I was thinking about this. A lot of people who have relationship problems, I wonder if sometimes the reason the narc in the relationship, be that male or female, can't get along with the other partner is because that partner holds them accountable. Mike is gone again. Hold on. In many ways, that partner is the law. Thank you for the super chat, Ronald. I see it up there. I just don't see the comment. Why does my microphone keep kicking off? That's just goofy. It's like it keeps kicking itself off. Let's see if I can get it back up. Come on, Yeti. Come on. Come on. Hop back on. I wonder if, hold on, let me do this. Y'all just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can fix this in settings on my computer. One day, y'all. Let's see, sound. Oh man, it's not even picking up the microphone at all. What is going on? I can't. Whatever. So I know the sound is probably choppy or not quite as good as it was before. That's because my microphone keeps dropping off, and for some reason my computer can't see it. So that's awesome. So I'll go ahead and wrap so I don't torture you guys with this horrific sound. Let me just bring my computer closer. So at least maybe I can be a little bit closer to it. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. And then we'll wrap up. I agree. Policing ourselves doesn't work, and it never has and never will. And here's the reason why, I think. Because people are always, I think, going to default towards protecting themselves. So like if someone in your family commits a crime, there's no police, they come home and tell you, I don't think most people would be like, all right, son, all right, daughter, let's march on out there and take accountability. Some of them would. Some parents would do that. Like if you break a window, they're going to make you go take responsibility for breaking that window. But what if you stole a car? Like there's a lot of families who would absolutely hide and protect the criminal of the family, 100%. And they wouldn't let you try them in the public court of the community. They wouldn't let the community hold them accountable. They would just hide them because our society is filled to the brim with narcs. Let's not ever forget that. I know a lot of them are. It says narcs are lawmen unto themselves. Oh, sorry, I was misinterpreting, but still a good comment. Narcs are lawmen unto themselves. It's the worship of autonomy, right? They are their own, somebody said it, I think on the last stream, they are their own judge and jury, basically. And that's fine, except for the fact that their judgment is often off. So they don't always have the world's greatest judgment. Let's see. My Yeti's back. Okay, great. Let's put the these mics. I'm sorry about the sound, you guys. All right. I'm going to wrap because my microphones are not having it. Oh, yes. It's overcorrection at its finest. Listen, I'm all about a cause. All about a cause. But we also have to be smart and understand when overcorrection is taking place. And right now, this is just insane. I haven't followed up on it today, but as of yesterday, I was like, wow, man. And like, I don't think people realize the long-term consequences of this. Oh yeah, this is what else I wanted to say in regard to this topic. Like, it's part of the reason that I quit teaching, because we were not allowed to hold the students accountable for anything, really. If they didn't do their work, we had to give them makeup work. If they didn't do their makeup work, they had an opportunity to make it all up at the end of the year for a D, which was considered passing. If they were rude or disrespectful in class and we sent them out, they would send them back. You know, the kids in many ways were untouchable. So when you're untouchable, the person who's quote unquote in charge of you, what power do they have? And it's not that teachers want power over the students. Some of them do, yes. Some of them are narcissistic freaks. Yes, they are. But the thing about it is, if your child is in the class with another child who's disruptive and rude, and the teacher is not allowed to remove that disruptive student, isn't that doing a disservice to your child who's there to learn? That's the way we look at it. We don't look at it at, well, the good teachers weren't like, oh, I just want power over you just for the sake of power. No, it was, you're not being fair to all these other kids in here. They're here to learn. They want to do their work. You won't let them. Then when I try to exercise the accountability portion of this program, you get sent back to class. So in many ways, like I shared in that other live stream, defunding the police, teachers are like cops in that respect. It's like we're made the bad guy for trying to do the right thing. And again, I'm not saying all cops do the right thing and blah, blah, blah. I'm not excusing them at all. Just like there are horrible teachers and bad teachers, there are bad cops and horrible cops. But what I'm saying is, oftentimes we are caught between what's right, what makes sense, principles, and an administration that's going against all of those things. You see? And after a while, when you realize I'm not allowed to actually be the authority figure in this room, some stay and a lot quit. Like, you're not going to disrespect me and call me out of my name and expect me to allow you to stay in my class. Like, really? But they did all the time, you guys, all the time. Let's see. See, like things like this. It says, in San Francisco, they've made it so stealing under $1,000, the police won't arrest. There's videos showing groups of girls filling bags with makeup and walking out, electronics, etc. Managers helpless. Right. So it's kind of like, as a society, what are we supposed to do? I'm telling y'all, these narcissists are getting ready to take over. They're getting ready to take over. And for anyone who's just tuning in, let me just make sure I put this back up. Play from current slide, and I'm going to share my screen. Just so everyone's clear, when I say the narcissists are getting ready to take over, I'm talking about all of them. All of them. Like, some of them who weren't even paying attention to any of this are like, wait, what? No, oh yeah, no police. because they have a lot of plans that they need to take care of. They have a lot of things that they need to do that they haven't been able to do because the cops have been in the way of their plans. You see, jail has been in the way of their plans. And my comments jumped. Let's see. All right. We're going to wrap up soon because I don't have a good mic, unfortunately. Might be time for a new one altogether. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you guys are not interested in some are, some aren't. In the video, white narcissism, black narcissism, the similarities and differences. So I'll continue to take that temperature, but I think it would be very interesting. I mean, because the thing is, you're right though, because it's like the behavior is the same. It says color doesn't matter, the behavior is the same. So true. But I think culturally it can display itself differently. So maybe this will be a 2021 video. If things don't improve, I'll do that video. I doubt they will, but you know. Yes, 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 we do. Yes, we do. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm just scrolling. Hey, there's that super chat. It says, here's $5, but I want my $3 change, miss. Ronald, I got you. I'll make sure you get that. I'll make sure. Right, this is kind of what I'm on here. Don't defund, just major overhaul, right? Because as I've been kind of reading up on this, they were saying how the cops do a lot of things that really honestly could be handled maybe by a social worker. For example, a homeless person, if they're not violent and displaying violent behaviors, they're just somewhere they're not supposed to be. Well, can a social worker maybe come pick them up in a van, take them somewhere, take them to a shelter, give them some food? You see what I mean? Like, could we take that off of the cops' hands? You see? Little things like that. Kids skipping school. Do we really need the cops to go pick up truant kids? I mean, unless they're getting into something they shouldn't be. I mean, maybe another social worker situation. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, interesting. It says, daughter-in-law just told me someone hacked the phone system. We're having trouble communicating here in Phoenix. Texts are coming in, late phone calls are not going through. Something's going on with the tech, y'all. I don't know what it is. I thought it was just me, but now my microphone is acting all weird, dropping, picking back up, dropping. I don't know, weird stuff. Internet was out all weekend. Strange. Let's see. Okay, looks like we got one vote or got a couple votes for wanting to see that video. I'll think on it. I'd really have to get my thoughts together, make sure I approach that correctly. Because, you know, honestly, in so many ways, they are the same. They're the same. I think the reason I want to do it is because if I can show how it comes out in the different groups, people might actually start to see it for the first time, if that makes sense. Or it might be crystal clear and already obvious. It might be one of those things like, well, duh. So I don't know. I'll have to think on that one, but I've been thinking about that one for a while. What I was actually going to title it was, You Are Brothers. And I was going to highlight really how it comes out of the male component of both sides and show that all this fighting, you're brothers. You are brothers. You're doing all this fighting and back and forth and him and Han, and in many ways, you are brothers. You're brothers. So anyway, but then that's isolating to the men. It makes men feel like I'm picking on them when I'm really not. The title is just so perfect. You're brothers. Anyway. All right, you guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Right. It's black and white thinking with entitlement at each end of the spectrum. Right. Where's my mouse? Here we go. Once people fully start to understand entitlement, you start to understand how it manifests itself differently in each group, but how it is also so much the same. You are brothers. And I don't mean that to isolate the men. It's just such a perfect title. Dear Narcissists, you are brothers. And highlighting like the most extreme version of a white narc and then the most extreme version of a black narc. And they're so against each other. And then highlighting how you're actually exactly the same people. You're the same people. You're just in different packages. So I got to think on that one. But anyway, you guys, I appreciate you all so much for this. Oh, stream's cutting out. Yeah, it's time for me to get off here. Thank you all so much. I apologize for the tech issues and the sound. Just bear with me. I hope you can still hear it. I think I'll get a new mic this week because this one is just not with it anymore. But with that, take care. Enjoy the 2 streams. Please leave comments, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.